All right, let's talk about Raelynn Nelson Band and Todd Snider. I seen both of them about 2 weeks ago, maybe. I'm not for sure on the time, but anyways, I've seen Todd Snider one other time in Fayetteville. He was going through a divorce, and he didn't tell any stories, but this time he was a lot better. I think he only told one story, but he was more into the show. He going through a bad divorce, I think. But anyways, it was at the Majestic in Fort Smith, which used to be the sound room. To kick off the night, it was Raelynn Nelson Band. If you've never heard of them, it is Willie Nelson's granddaughter. I think she's around my age, a little bit younger. I'm not for sure. I know she likes 90s music because she kicked off the night with Britney Spears' Baby One More Time. She played solo that night with, I think it was a ukulele, that or a very, very small guitar, but I'm 95% sure it's a ukulele. She's got her first Raelynn Nelson Band, which I think is a quartet. I'm not quite for sure about that, but they got a full-length album out called Don't. And the way that I describe their music, which the way that it's described on her website as country mixed with garage rock, which is pretty good assumption. Like if part Loretta Lynn and part Cheap Trick. I actually got to see Cheap Trick. They opened up for Aerosmith. That was like when I was like 17, 18, something like that. But anyways, they're based out of Nashville. And I was reading a little about her earlier, and instead of trying to find a major label, she went and found an independent producer, and his name is, let me look because I got it, Jonathan Bright. He was a mutual friend. I guess he's heavily influenced in the underground rock and punk scene around Nashville. I don't know if it's East Nashville or just Nashville. Todd Snider lives in East Nashville. But one of the funny things is she kicked off, like I said before, with Britney Spears' Hit Me Baby One More Time, which was a big song back when I was a teenager. But the funny thing is, I guess she met Todd Snider at Form Aid last year or the year before or something like that. But I guess Todd had found her in the crowd or backstage or something. He's like, "Hey, good set, Raelynn," and she's like, "Oh, that's cool," or whatever. I don't know. And I guess he walked off, and the person she was with she looked at him and goes, "Who the fuck is Todd Snider?" She didn't know who he was at that time, And then but she's opened up for a wide variety of people, hardworking Americans, which is one of Todd Snider's side projects, jam band. Tim McGraw. I can't think of anybody else, but it was a wide variety of different types of artists that she has opened up for. And she's got another, I think it's a 4 or 5 song EP dubbed Do You. I think there's 3 or 4 or 5 songs. Like I said, I hadn't really listened to her a lot. That was really the first time I've ever really started listening to her. I knew of her, but like I said, it's pretty damn good what I've heard. So if you like country, grunge rock, independent music, go check her out. I'm pretty sure it's a quartet. But like I said, she she did really good. She did a bunch of originals. She got original called I Don't Want to Be Your Friend Anymore. Hey You. I think the biggest original, or like the most popular original she's got is Weed and Whiskey. I think it's like a 10 or 11 full album, so check that out. Like I said, very entertaining. Especially, I don't know with her with the band. I just seen her solo, like I said. And she tells a little bit of stories in between her songs. Like I said, check her out. She did awesome. Of course, and then Todd Snider came out. One of my favorite artists, Todd freaking Snider. He is, I think, like if you took Robert Earl Keen, Jerry Jeff Walker, and Ramblin' Joe Elliott together, you would get that with a bunch of dope. One of the funny things is he came out there barefooted, which I thought was really cool. And he had his dog out there for a little bit, and then it was an older dog. So, you know, I say that a lot. And then they put him back on the bus because he was getting, I don't know if he was nervous with the crowd or he just, an older dog just wanted to sleep or, rest. But I don't know if it's just Cody Canada that dubs him the Fabulous Trainwreck or if it's just a nickname. I heard that on Cody Canada's solo album, acoustic solo album. Some new, some old, some new, maybe a cover or two. But if you don't know anything about Todd Snider, he is a big time hippie. Pot smoker. I think he's done LSD, morphine. I mean, I don't know if he does all that stuff anymore, but I know he used to do a little bit of everything. But he was born in Beaverton, Oregon. And his dad wanted him to be a football player. I guess he's a pretty damn good athlete from what I've heard over. Now, I don't know if it's just bullshit stories he tells or if he was a really good football player, but, he's got the mushroom story. Look that up on YouTube. I'm not going to go through it because there's like 20 videos of the mushroom story. Football story, mushroom story. But where he went from being the conservative football player that his dad wanted him to be to the pot smoking hippie that everybody knows him now. He is a fantastic storyteller. Oh my God. I love his stories. And from what I understand, he in his early days, like, in between songs, or like, say, you had to switch equipment out from a different guitars or whatever, he would just talk to the audience, and then he would just start telling stories about that, or just different things that happened over the years, and they've come, like, part of the show now. Like, people expect him to tell at least 2 or 3 stories, and of course, he's got his own way, and you don't know if it's made up or if it's actually happened, because he's, is a storyteller. Like I said, I don't know if it's probably part bullshit, part truth, Another great story he tells is the KK Rider story. Look that up. I love that story. But like I said, what I loved about him, which he usually, I think, does shows just solo, him and his guitar. Another badass story is, oh shit, I'll think of it here in a minute. Meeting the Bill Elliott story. Look that up. We met Bill Elliott, the NASCAR driver. Look that up too. It's pretty fucking awesome. But anyways, like I said, when he first started years ago, he went out to he went out to Santa Rosa, California, and that didn't work out. So he hopped on a plane, and just like the lyrics in Vinyl Records is one of his songs, he had 2 bags, one with a bunch of vinyl records and one with all his clothes. And the lady at the airport said you can only bring 1 bag. And so he left all his clothes in Santa Rosa, California, and hopped on a plane to go to Austin to meet his brother with a bag full of vinyl records, which is pretty, I don't know if I could do that, but pretty fucking awesome in my opinion. I mean, just because he's a storyteller, and it just makes like his legend or whatever more cool. But anyways, and then, like I said, he started playing down in Texas, and now he resides in East Nashville. But I think Justin Townes Earl lives out in East Nashville, which is Steve Earle's son. I can't talk today. If you haven't ever heard of Justin Townes Earl, look him up. He is badass, and he is nothing like his father. Like, I don't think politically, he don't talk about politics on stage, and his music's, to me, old-fashioned. Just look it up, Justin Townes Earl. And the funny thing about, and I was reading a while back ago, was he didn't even want to go by Townes. He didn't really act, I don't think he even likes that name, but his dad named him Justin Townes after Townes Van Zandt, one of Steve Earle's heroes. But his photographer, his longtime photographer, when they were doing photography for like the first time they were doing photography, he said, "What's your name going to be? Justin Earl or Townes Earl?" He goes, "No, leave the Townes off." He goes, "No, you're Justin Townes Earl," and it just stuck. But anyways, back to Todd Snider. I go off. That's why I got a thing on another on my YouTube and Facebook called Just Yakking, because I talk about a wide variety of things. And I'm going to record another Just Yakking here in a little bit. But anyways, he played a slew of songs, Easy Money, which I think he was trying to get Johnny Cash to hear it, but the band heard it, but not Johnny Cash himself. All Right Guy, Ballad of the Kingsman, he played that. D.B. Cooper, I love that song. Stuck on the Corner, Can't Complain, Ballad of the Kingsman. That's a badass song too. If you're a music junkie like me, there's a lot of good references. Talks about Marilyn Manson and just how kids take lyrics. Like I said, badass show. He didn't play very long because I think he's having vocal issues right now. I think he's got back issues too. But for what he did an awesome job. Like I said, if you've never heard Todd Snider and he's around in your area, catch his show. You will not be disappointed. He's folk. Like I said, most of the time that I know of, he just does acoustic. So, but like I said, badass show. I got to meet I didn't get to meet him after the show, but I did get to meet Raelynn Nelson, and she saw my guitar. So I'm on my 5th guitar right now of signatures. And that's what I'm going to talk about on this episode. Check y'all later.